What's up? I'm Anthony. In recent videos, I've outlined several easy steps to help you build the life you want. I've gone into specifics about how to literally create the reality of your choosing, starting with the power of focused and consistent thought. One of the questions I've been asked recently is, if building the life you want were so easy, why aren't more people doing it? That's a great question, and one I'm going to answer today. In the next few minutes, I'll break down 5 common pitfalls that can sabotage your efforts and keep you from creating the life you really want. Let's get into it. Lack of clarity. James Allen once said, "Aimlessness is a vice." The first obstacle that keeps you from achieving what you really want is generally not clearly seeing what you want. If you don't know where you want to go, there's no chance of you getting there. Now remember, there's good news that makes this easy. In the early stages of this process, it is not your responsibility to figure out how to get where you want to go. All you have to do is figure out where you want to go. Where is your soul calling you to be? What is it that you want to accomplish? You need to have a clear vision in your mind of what success looks like to you. Whether you want to focus your creative powers on a career decision or a relationship, or you're trying to lose weight, whatever the case may be, your ability to affect reality isn't limited to any particular scope of your life. Everything connects. Now, starting with a very general sense of what you want to accomplish is perfectly fine. However, as you see your goal in your mind, speak it with your words, and take the next logical step toward it, it then becomes critical that you adjust your focus to see more of the details. Repeat and achieve. Feeling unworthy. This is one of the lesser talked about mental obstacles that tends to hold people back. It's this feeling often hiding deep in a person's mind that despite knowing what you want in life, part of you feels you don't really deserve it. Whether it's financial success, love, this feeling of worthiness can suffocate anything good. For years, I suffered from this myself. There's a psychological occurrence called survivor's guilt. It's when a person actually feels guilty for surviving a traumatic event when others didn't. As I look back at people who grew up under similar circumstances as me, a lot of them didn't make it out. They fell victim to that cyclical pattern of broken families, poverty, incarceration, drug addiction. Good people, smart people. So to me, when I moved to the suburbs with my decent job and beautiful family, I felt I had already defied the odds. How could I possibly ask life for more? But deep down, I did want more. What I really wanted was the ability to reach out to people, to help people understand their own strength, to help people create better lives for themselves. But I felt guilty even asking for that ability. Who was I? It was a miracle that I wasn't a statistic myself. I've since learned, though, there's a lot of people who feel that exact same way, who have something that's calling them, but they feel unworthy of it, or out of appreciation for what they do have, they feel like it's almost selfish to ask for more from life. When you do that, when you shrink, even out of humility, you cheat us of your gift, because the thing that's calling you, that's your gift to somebody. And when you don't answer that calling, you deny us your gift. Pursuing your highest dreams is actually the opposite of selfish. It's actually selfish to sit back in your comfort and say, things are pretty good for me. I'm good with this, when you know you have more to give. There is no limit on the success you deserve, the happiness you deserve, the good fortune you deserve. So stop playing small. You have something to give the world, or at least one person in it, and that may mean the world to them. Fear. The visions you're holding, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, they're delicate, especially in these early stages. They need constant affirmation. They thrive off vibes and energy. Therefore, it's critical that you plant your goal in positivity and weed out thoughts based in doubt and fear. Conflicting energies only prevent you from fully blossoming. But fear is real. It's natural, especially when you're stepping out of your comfort zone, which is required for growth. So, how can you deal with it? I'll tell you what you can't do. You can't just put it out of your mind. To try to deny fear is a horrible mistake. Because when you try to bury it, that's when it grows roots and sabotages your efforts unconsciously. So here's the trick to beating fear. You don't beat it. You use it. Fear is just energy, and strong energy at that. Recognize it, acknowledge it, and once you do, you're able to take control of it and make that fear work for you rather than against you. NFL Hall of Famer Jerry Rice said fear is his biggest motivator. Fear led him to his success. Fear of not reaching his potential, fear of disappointing people. He recognized that fear. He didn't try to hide from it or suppress it. He used it to drive him to his greatness. It's okay to be afraid. I told you in the first video in this series that if you really want to do this, you're going to have to be willing to face some vulnerability. Man, I ain't scared. What you talking about? I'm from the mud. I ain't scared of nothing. I understand that mindset. But when the amount of work that you're going to have to put in, or the threat of failure, or even the prospect of success scares you, be honest about it, at least with yourself. Emotional blockage. By now, you've heard me say several times, you draw circumstances and situations into your life based on your thoughts. But just as important as what you think is how you feel. Your emotions are incredibly powerful attractors. That said, it's surprising how routinely people are totally out of touch with their real emotions. You ever see somebody way overreact to the smallest thing? Instinctively, you know that reaction isn't related to that incident. That person was walking around with that reaction boiling up within them. They just needed a place to aim it. You ever see somebody try to say they're not mad when they obviously are? It's kind of funny, right? But they're not intentionally lying. They're just honestly out of touch with their own emotions. And that disconnect can be caused by trying not to feel. When you habitually do that, repress emotions, over time you get to the point where you're not ever sure what you really feel. And when that happens, you draw things into your life experience that you can't explain, things that don't make sense to you, which is frustrating. But remember, whether you're aware of what you're feeling or not, the magnet is always on. In order to create the life experiences you want, the life experiences you deserve, you have to tune into your emotions. It's part of being balanced. It's part of being whole. What you eat, how much you sleep, getting exercise, how much you drink or do drugs, all those things play a part in your balance and your overall emotional well-being. Now, trust me, I like to party and have fun as much as the next person, maybe more. But listen to your body. It'll tell you when it's out of balance and needs some adjusting. Conversely, when you're sitting quietly for your 10 minutes a day, learn to listen to your heart. It'll tell you if it's hanging on to old emotional traumas that never healed properly. Because whether you realize it or not, it takes a lot of energy to keep those things buried, and they don't heal in the dark. As I said before, it takes all of you to create the life you want. You can't be split into 1,000 pieces. You have to be whole. In Jay-Z's latest album, 444, he has a song titled Kill Jay-Z. In it, he basically describes killing his own ego in order to discover his truest self. You know I love that. In one line, he raps, "Cry, Jay-Z. We know the pain is real, but you can't heal what you never reveal. You have to allow yourself to feel so you can heal. Move to your pain in order to move through your pain. Because you have to be whole in order to be who you're destined to be." Relationships. One of the biggest roadblocks, one of the biggest energy zappers that prevents people from accomplishing what they're capable of are their relationships. Families, friends, significant others, it doesn't matter. Y'all hear this. As you evolve into the person that you need to be, some of the relationships you're in will change. And that's okay. As we weed out thoughts based in negativity, sometimes that means weeding out relationships based in negativity. As you're changing yourself, even though it's for the better, some people around you will feel threatened by that change. Certain relationships in your life will naturally just start to dissolve. And that's okay. Remember, as you change internally, what you experience externally also has to change. Your only responsibility is to your continued growth and development. As you start to identify and dissolve your own ego through the light of awareness, the ego of those around you will start to feel exposed. They'll get defensive. What, you think you're better than me? They'll get offensive. Who do you think you are? They'll try to pigeonhole you into your old past mistakes. Oh, now you read a book and trying to act brand new. I remember when you used to blah, blah, blah. Their ego would do any and everything to maintain control over them. That's not your problem to solve. Not everyone can come with you to the next level. You have to keep going anyway. When the time is right for them, they'll evolve on their own. Or maybe they won't. Either way, it's not your responsibility, and you can't make someone grow. There's a lot of good people watching this video right now who lost a lot of good years from their life trying to make someone else grow into a better version of themselves. They'll tell you it can't be done. A person can only change when they want to change, and most people resist change even when that change is good for them. Sure, some people are going to say, oh, he's changed, or oh, she's changed. That's okay. Because trust me, no matter what you do, you can't shrink down low enough to appease someone who's operating from ego. They'll still find a way to blame you for things, play the victim, take advantage of you, and all the other things that the ego naturally does. So as you're taking steps to create the life you want, take inventory of the relationships in your life. Keep your relationships positive. And if this means people that you are close to once start to fade away, that's okay. It only makes room for people who reflect the energy that you want and need, that positive, light, high vibrating energy based in spirit. Listen, thank you all for your time. As you move forward, watch out for these 5 traps. Practice the techniques that I've outlined in earlier videos, and you will create situations, circumstances, and ultimately the life you want. I'm absolutely sure of it. Because if there's one thing I know, it's this: everything connects. Love and respect.